Now, I know a lot of you are facing eviction. A lot of you may already been evicted, most likely illegally. And many of you are facing eviction. Many of you have maybe already living in your cars, extended stay, motels, hotels, shelters, on the street, in the neighbor's home, in the basement, on a couch somewhere. And it seems like things are really not picking up, really not getting that much better for the majority. And with that said, and knowing that the CDC moratorium is ending December 31st, 2020 to hold off evictions, a lot of things are gearing up. So I want you guys to be aware. I want you guys to be aware for a couple of reasons. And one is to keep focused on your moral compass. And I say that because there's a company, right? And it's called Onquall, ONQALL. And they have decided that this pandemic is worth a lot more money taking advantage of people that's suffering than just putting in the hard work themselves. So they created this company about a month or so ago. And it looks like it's called Civil when you first see it, because it looked like it's CIVIL. But when you really take a look at it, CIVVL, which kind of give you that villainous type of feel when you look at it. But nonetheless, they started this company, and this company is online. And I came across it in this article. And this article, excuse me, sir, if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, but I believe it's Dominic Gustavo. And the article is entitled, Gig Workers Hired to Evict People from Their Homes as Millions Struggle to Pay Rent. And this article is explaining how this company has devised an app, an online application process for landlords and individuals to be hired. Now, the thing is, the majority of people that they're seeking is people who are struggling themselves. So basically, they want people who are struggling to help evict other people who are struggling, to save their own selves, in a sense. But basically what it is this company found a way to make money off of people suffering and to help landlords, in some cases, take advantage of those unable to pay rent before the moratorium is over. Or it may be extended, we don't know. But right now it's set at December 31st, 2020. However, we also need to be aware that though the CDC has set this in place, there are some states that do not identify with the moratorium as it is meant to be, but have their own take on what it means. So I'm going to read a little part of this quickly, of this article, that I want y'all to see and get an understanding of what this is. It says, quote, despite the CDC's moratorium, many renters are unaware of the protection available to them, and landlords take advantage of this ignorance to carry out illegal evictions. In some states, tenants must fill out a declaration in order to remain exempt from eviction. In other states, such as Maryland, tenants may be required to provide documentation to assert that they qualify for exemption. Unquote. States are taking on their own take of this thing. And because of that, it is allowing these landlords to feel that they have authority to evict people, even illegally. But I also want to make note, being a human rights advocate, specializing in tenant advocacy for tenant landlord matters, I have to put it out there, folks. It's a lot of tenants, not all, but it's a handful of tenants that are literally taking advantage of this situation with the COVID, not paying rent, spending money how they want to spend it because they feel I can't get evicted. I'm going to live how I want to live, buy what I want to buy, travel how I want to travel, do what I want to do with this money that I do have because I can't be evicted. Which makes this situation worse for the people who are not doing that. And there are also, as I mentioned, bad landlords who are trying to use every means to evict the tenant that may be a long-standing tenant because they can't pay the rent because they lost their job, or their jobs haven't opened back up, or the jobs lost so much that they wasn't able to regain in order to reopen. And they are legally evicting people in the middle of this memorandum being present by the CDC saying, hold up, you can't do this. So I want everybody to be aware of what's going on. This particular company, let me go back again. Onquall, I guess it's how it's pronounced, I'm not sure. But again, it's Onquall. And they have started this online startup company, Civil, I guess it will be Civil, CIVVL, however that's supposed to be spelled, but pronounced. But nonetheless, they are literally taking advantage of folks. And also, let me say this too, because when you go onto the website of this new startup, it doesn't tell workers how much they're going to be paid at all. It doesn't tell workers how much they're going to be paid. They first ask you to choose from being a server of documentation to put on people's door to say, hey, you're being evicted, and or that you can be an eviction processor, meaning that that's not the name. You'll see it pop up, or you can help evict people's belongings out of their residence. I thought it was interesting that when you go on, they don't tell you what you will be making. They also don't even give you an idea of what you'll be making. Like, it doesn't say, oh, if you serve an eviction notice, you can get anywhere between $25 and $50. Nothing is anywhere about a dollar amount, nowhere. After you go past the first section of filling out your personal information, your name, your email, your phone number, then they also ask you about when you go to, I think it's the next page or so, but they ask you also, how do you want to get paid? Do you want to get paid by Cash App? Do you want to get paid by a check? But then the small print, it lets you know that they're not paying you. They're hiring you, but they're not paying you. So they say at the bottom that the landlord will be paying you. But again, even on this page too, it doesn't tell you how much you're going to get paid. And then when you go to the third page, you got to upload an ID and you got to consent to the terms and conditions and all of these other little things. And again, on page 3, they do not tell you about how much you're going to get paid. And then whether they tell you on page 4 before you conclude everything, we're not sure because we wasn't able to go that far because we didn't have a photo that we were willing to upload. So, with that being said, think about this, folks. This company wants struggling people to help evict other struggling people. This company is about making the money. And think about this. If you are a gig worker, I'm going to tell you what this also means. Though you get paid by the so-called landlord, you may not be actually getting paid directly by the landlord. because the landlord can be paying this company a set amount, and then they're going to take out all of these fees for their service, for their platform fee. They're going to have something for the operational fee. They're going to have something for the hiring process. All of these things, and then they're going to break you off whatever they have at the end. And if your pay actually comes from the landlord, think of this. The landlord has a building of 6 renters, and 5 of the renters haven't paid in 5 to 6 months. How much you think you're going to get paid for your service? How much do you really think you're going to get paid? Because this site advertises that you can make big money. That you can really make big money. But again, it don't tell you how much the big money is. So keep that in mind. And also I want to read this last thing on this article that the guy wrote that I thought was interesting. It says the owners of, I'm going to say civil, clearly anticipate the avalanche of eviction that is coming. Its website states frankly, and this is all a quote, moratorium ends December 31st, 2020 and urges landlords to secure your booking and act fast. So they trying to get money. It is about the money. They don't care who's getting evicted, how they getting evicted, who's doing the evictions. All they know is they want their money. And a lot of people are going to be jeopardized dealing with their moral compass of, do I make this money and evict people who are in my same situation, help evict people that's in my same situation, or do I trust God and is God leading me this way? A lot of people are going to be thinking that. Maybe God is giving me this job to do this. But God also has scriptures dealing with homeless, widows, and the poor. So I want renters to be mindful that there's a company out there that the enemy is definitely the head of, and it is working. It is working at great lengths to get the money that they want to have at the risk of your housing, at the risk of your safety. And I highly suggest those that's in relationships with God, such as I am. And again, I ain't one of those people, and actually beyond past one of the people, I don't even have a situation where I can get evicted because I don't have anything with my name on it. So I want to put that out there because I want people to realize that we have to stand firm in God's word. Jeremiah 33:6 said, I will provide health, healing, abundant prosperity, and safety. And along with myself, many of us may be still going through a process of strengthening. Some of us may be going through a process because we're trying to do it on our own, though we're asking God, and we haven't took our hands off and let God do what he does best. So again, please everyone, do not let these circumstances that has hit us, many millions and millions of us, don't let it take the few things that make you who you are. Your love, your compassion, your empathy, your faith, your trust, your belief. Don't let it have it. Don't let it have it. If you have family members that's living in the same household, team up. Really team up the way you need to team up to make it work. If you have members of the family or even friends that but make sure that you know God is moving you in that way. Let me say that too. Because a lot of times we move on action because of circumstance, because We don't have to deal with the circumstance. We want out of the circumstance. So make sure before you act on any of your own thoughts, make sure God is giving you the approval for. So again, be safe out here. Don't let what you have, the only thing that makes you you in spirit, in order to operate out here in this world, don't let that be compromised. Don't let it be swayed. Don't let it be stolen. And most definitely don't let it be killed off.